Right, George, you just done your observation of your sports performer. If you'd like to start with your action plan.
Yep. Talking about a cyclist that I've viewed over the past year, I'll start off by talking about the skills and the strength of the skills. So first off we have slipstreaming. The performer showed successful slipstreaming as he fit in between the other competitors with ease, little hesitation. This meant he could use the performer in front as a wind block to lessen the force of wind resistance on himself directly. Next skill we have position on the bike. He showed the correct tucked in position with legs and arms and head down. This was done through contraction of the abdominal muscles, which gave his back the correct slip position, so wind travelled in the correct smooth way over his body. Final skill strength was sprinting. Performer showed he could rapidly increase speed on the bike at certain points during a racing environment to increase his progress. This meant he could get in front of the other competitors, giving him an advantage. Skill weaknesses, we have cornering. I can see that he was travelling at too fast a speed to slow down in time for corners for his mass. This is because he built up too momentum, and it shows as he was taking corners too wide. This means it slows down his overall time, and it can allow others to overtake, as well as it can cause a crash. So the ideal corner would be around the apex, so he needs to slow down in order to get that corner. The next negative skills would be his climbing. He showed bad climbing technique as he was in. He pushes too hard on the pedals when ascending steep gradients. I can see he struggles when getting to a high gradient zone. He needs to drop down the gears in order to achieve the correct hill climb. And final disadvantage of skills is the gear changing. He shows inefficient gear changes. He's in too high gear for the majority of the race or training, and this means that he's putting too much energy into each pedal rotation, so he's using his energy inefficiently. Next, going on to tactics. So strengths and tactics. Formation. He most importantly knows where he is in the race most of the time. This is important as he knows when to overtake or to fall back to remain in the same slipstream pattern as normal. Applying pressure. He knows how to psychologically apply pressure to the other opponents by dummying a sprint. This makes them use energy unnecessarily, which gives him an advantage. Weaknesses of tactics are his standing. He shows bad standing on his bike, and this is important when climbing hills, as it gives you the most power through the pedals and the wheels. So he needs to learn to stand on his bike when entering a more hilly zone, and he needs to stop standing when on a straight piece of road. Next is balancing. His balance is bad as he's swaying side to side, and his limbs are sticking out, which means he's less slipstream, and when he's taking corners this could cause him to fall off. And then final weakness is braking. He shows bad braking, and this relates to cornering as well. He doesn't slow down enough in time because of his braking, and if he wants to hit the perfect turn he needs to brake pre that, so he gets the right path. Next is fitness. So strength and fitness. muscular endurance. I can see that he has strong muscular endurance in his legs. His quadriceps are large, and he uses power wisely most of the time, but he needs tweaking on some movements to give him the best energy use. Fatigue level is good, very good, as he can go for a long time 25 mile, 10 mile races and still show the same amount of effort and energy. Stamina relates to this, is also strength. Very good, he uses it when pushing his pedals. He knows how to use his position on the bike effectively to keep his stamina the same throughout. Fitness weaknesses would be coordination. He's not too great at coordination on the bike, so in terms of position, that needs sorting. Next weakness, core strength. His core strength is okay. It needs just further training with weights in the gym. So some example would be like knee raises to improve his core strength. Final weakness is power output. He showed alright level power output through the pedals, but this again can be increased through weight training in the gym. If he's left it the same, he won't be able to climb hills fast enough. Okay, next is action plan. His prioritised weakness is his climbing, and this has other stuff related to it. The perfect model for a climbing would be Chris Froome, and this should be shown in Tour de France. When he climbs hills, he uses his body the best way by standing up on the bike and exerting the most power through his gastrocnemius muscles through to the pedals, and this gives him the advantage. I've put together an action plan, 6 blocks of 2 weeks training. The first week will be at very low intensity, as it's a theory lesson, getting him into the basics on the bike, the best position, and starting him off with low weights in the gym. These will be an hour lesson 2 times a week. Block 2 will be getting him on an actual bike, fitting him to the bike for his size and mass. This will be 20% intensity done in a closed environment to minimise stress, and increasing the weight load with exercises such as squats or leg press to improve his strength and power output. These will be an hour again, 2 times a week. Block 3, 50% intensity, increase, put him into an open environment but without traffic, so closed road, something on low gradients, and assessing his ability and looking for improvements for his improvements in speed that he shows. Block 4, intensity is 60% now, and we'll introduce other competitors, friendly competitors with him to make him work harder, and this also increase the gradient of the hills and timing him on to get to the top, with these people increasing his arousal. Block 5 will be 30-minute sessions, 3 times a week. Block 5 now at 80% intensity, testing on the highest gradients and maximum reps for heavy weights in the gym on squat and push press, leg press. And then by block 6, putting him into a competitive environment, which is 100% intensity and functionality. Yep. That's that. Application to theory. So first of all, biomechanics. Wind resistance and friction need to be assessed as factors as the law of reaction says. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction, so therefore the amount of power he puts forward, then one resistance and friction will be acting that backwards. Linear motion, he'll show this when travelling down a hill, as all his body parts be travelling at the same speed, same direction. The muscles he's using when cycling are his rectus abdominis for his core strength, his gastrocnemius, and his quadriceps muscles. The bones used are his tibia, femur, bones in his leg, and just the vertebrae and the spine for his back and core strength. Joints in his leg, his knees, hinge joint, that allows him to get the push on the pedals, and ball and socket joint in his hip and his ankle. Energy systems in cycling long distance anyways, aerobic, as it's more than 10 minutes, and it's not a short workout, so therefore you won't be able to use ATP, PC. It's a long distance thing, so lactic acid will have a build up in his body. Skill acquisition now, his arousal, because he's an extrovert, so his arousal will be high before the race due to spectators having a good effect on him. This would be different for an introvert, as he'd be negatively affected due to the pressure of the audience. Memory models, Jackson and Schiffer in short-term, long-term memory model. He ignores so he takes in stimuli from all the environment, such as spectators, noises around him, but the stuff he'll focus on is position on the bike, and this will go into his long-term memory, so he doesn't focus on the other stuff.
So about the skill continued?
Yeah, it's an open skill, as there's other competitors affecting him. It's a simple skill because it's not broken down into many sub-routines, but it's also a gross skill as it uses most of the body on the bike. History of the sport, social cultural history. First British race, the milk race, 100 years ago. That's what started big events in England mainly, and then this develops into bigger events such as Tour de France, which is still going. The governing bodies for cycling in the UK is British Cycling, and these help fund clubs and encourage people to cycle. And cyclists, in terms of physical build, hasn't changed have really stayed to the same model over the years. They haven't changed like other sports due to the light weight needed to move a bike up hills. And local local leagues would be like Yorkshire Cycling, and then international leagues would be like Tour de France. And this is international has been able to be international races due to the improving of transport over the years after the Industrial Revolution. It means people can travel to events and races.
Finished?
I think so.